Major and Gina. Major is a miracle dog. You have no idea. Wow, I'll tell you some stuff about Major. He's probably 5 or 6 months. He's going to be big. And then Gina, he loves Gina. Gina's a little smaller. Gina's about a year old, and they get along great. Major is just a little bit bigger than her, so, but she puts up with it. She puts up with it. So Major's, I named him Major. He's German Shepherd. German Shepherd should be named Major. Right? Oh, they're inside. They're inside now. Okay, it's hot out today. There they come. There they come. How's my kids? Styles. Here you go, Styles. 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 There you go, honey. Gina. Gina. Major. Where's Zorro? Zorro's in his water. He's smart. Zorro's in the water. There goes Zorro. They want to be in the shade with the pool. I don't blame you. I'm going to sit in the shade today. Am I going to hit all three? Can I hit all three? I overshot that one. There you go. I still got it. I still got it. Okay. Okay, let's ay. Come on, Major. Come here, Major. Hi, Gina. Gina, you see her limping. Gina's a desert rescue down from our satellite, and she has an elbow, right elbow. Come here, Gina. Come here, Gina. Come here, Gina. Gina, come here, Gina. Come here, honey. We've checked with surgeons. There's really nothing to do. She's on a pain medicine, a number of them. But even if they did the surgeries they could do to help, but it's still going to be chronic medication for the rest of her life. She's only a year old. We'll keep looking at that. We'll keep looking at that. I can't stand having her on meds for her life, but they said even with the surgery, she's going to be on pain meds. These poor dogs, you know. Now Major here, this boy, this Major boy, he's a miracle. I can only describe. What's the matter, Gina? Gina, come here, Gina. Come here, Gina. Come here, Gina. Hey, Major. Come here, Gina. Major, my boy. My boy, Major. Look at this boy. Gina, hi, Gina. Major was a forest rescue. He was. I thought we had a dead dog under a bush. Look at him. Look at him. He's a great boy. You want another treat? Why not? Why not? You eat them nice. He goes and chomps them. He was limp under a bush, but he was alive. And there's no way this dog could make it. He was about 2 months old. And he had parvo. And he'd had it for a while out there. And he was almost dead. And we brought him here and hooked him up and gave him all the stuff. And he came around, but he was so, you know. And the amazing thing, and this costs money, people won't do it, vet hospitals won't do it, but they should. Dr. Brown had been out for a little bit on a medical thing, and he was at home reading, and he read something they had sent him, and a video that he watched about monoclonal antibodies, and whatever it was in that. Now this was just maybe a few months before we found Major. He got monoclonal antibodies. My understanding is a half a dozen of them cost like $1,200. Each vial is like $200. So by some chance, we hardly ever get parvo because everybody's vaccinated and stuff. And for some reason, we don't get parvo down in the desert. I don't know what the heck that's about. We come here, we give them vaccinations at the satellite inn here. But we don't have this, you get them in parvo puppies, you'll get that now and then. But we haven't had parvo here on the property in a long time. And now we have a parvo, so we go in, but he's so close to not being here, he was just, there's no way this guy could pull through, except we have monoclonal antibodies. It's like we were gifted monoclonal antibodies because he was coming. This angel was coming. This angel knew we knew he would be in trouble. And we were, look at those beautiful look at those white teeth. Look at those white teeth. He's so white, it's like he got a teeth cleaning, a teeth whitening. Look at that. Come here, you. Come here, you. Come here, Major. Come here, Major. Come here, Major. Let me see those teeth. Look at those. Look at those teeth. Look at those teeth. Oh, they're so white. They're so white. There you go. Monoclonal antibodies saved his life, and it took a while, to build him up and get him back. And but he lived. He survived the parvo, and he's growing like a weed. He was like this big, this little tiny, this guy. This is like 2-3 months later, whatever it is. Look at the size of him, and he's still growing. He's still growing. Major, what a beautiful boy. You like Major? Gina likes her Major. Yes, Gina. Yes, Gina. Zorro. Hey, Zorro. I'll throw Zorro a treat. Hey, Zorro, there's a treat. No, he'd rather stay in the pool. What do you want? What do you want? You're a beautiful boy. Beautiful boy. Gina. Hi, Gina. Gina. Nice Italian name. Gina. Gina and the Major. The Major and Gina. No, Gina and the Major. That's the movie. Gina and the Major. Yes, you're the Major. The miracle boy. So we're going to keep monoclonal antibodies around. You never know. I like to keep medicines, even if we don't use them. They get expired. They're still good for a while, and then we will donate them, give them to another organization somewhere to have on hand, probably down the satellite in case they get some parvo. But we'll keep it on hand because that Major would not be here today if Dr. Brown hadn't been out recuperating and having seen the video and having ordered the monoclonal, because that's a good idea. We should have that. Well, guess what? Look, guess what? This boy is here today with those white, shiny teeth. Those white, shiny teeth. What are you, 6 months old now, maybe? 5 months? You're going to get big, big, big. You're still growing. Yeah, take my arm. Take my arm. Yes, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. You're such a sweet boy. I was petting him the other day before we moved him here. This is their new yard. And he was up at a yard by himself. We're letting him run around and get out. And he was running around for a couple of months. He was in his little yard. We lost Penelope, and Penelope had that special yard that was hers. And the day we lost her, she moved over for him because he needed to get out of the hospital, and we put him out there, and he stayed there. And then a couple of days ago, Sophie, who lived here, had like a minor stroke, so she's in the hospital, and she won't be coming back here. She's 16 years old, and the heat will be too much. We keep her in during the day, but still, this is just too big for her now, especially her head is a little off, and she's recovering from a stroke. So she pushed over, and the day this happened, that she pushed over, the next day we found a baby rattlesnake in the yard over from where he was. So I said, Major, let's put Major over in Sophie's yard, get him away from here. We'll close down that yard till we find the parents. Get a baby rattlesnake, there's other babies, and there's 2 parents, and we have to find them. I have an idea where they are, but we can't remove what's there to get to them. So he got his new yard, and then Gina, he'd been with Gina before, but he was too rambunctious for her. And I thought, let's try them, because a big yard, they'll run it off. They'll run off their steam. I don't like that. We can't do much for that leg. I've got to figure out something. We had another dog that we couldn't do much for the leg. Another elbow, a 2-year-old Priya. And finally, we found a surgeon that had an idea, and he fixed it. She's gonna be a few months recovering, but it's fixed. So I've got to look at this again and keep looking for a solution. I mean, I've had the best look at it and say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. But never give up, never give up, never give up. I can't get over how white his teeth are. I mean, puppy teeth are white, but his teeth are like a commercial. I guess against his dark muscle, they look really white. Really, really, really white. What, you want some petting too? You want some petting? You want some petting? You're all muddy now. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Mud is great. Mud is great. If somebody had a dog like him at home and he got mud on it, they'd go crazy. Oh my God, we have to give him a bath. Oh my God, the house is full of mud. Here, they could have all the mud they want. You're in the pool, Gina? You in the pool? Zorro's in his, but likes his pool. Zorro really likes his pool. Hey, Zorro. You chomping on my hand? You chomping on my hand? You're a sweet boy. You are a sweet boy. Yes, you are. You're a sweet boy. And your little girlfriend really loves you, huh? Gina's all over you. Maybe that's what they meant, when they... How's Tommy's new girlfriend? Oh, she's all over him. Well, maybe that's where it comes from. What is that? What is that? You're muddying me up. You're muddying me up. Yes, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Gina. Gina's a good girl. Look at her. Look at those white teeth. I can't get over that. My God. Look at him. Look at him. Look at this. He's got... That reminds me, somebody asked me if I ever got bit. Now, did I tell this story yet? Did I ever tell about Pappy? Did I ever tell? Well, they haven't seen it probably. But Pappy, the first year I was rescuing, 79, yeah. And there was a pond in the forest that used to get trout stocked. They used to stock trout. And they dumped dogs there. And I found exactly 35 dogs one day. So anyway, I'd be feeding, and there's a half a dozen retired guys that hang out all day. They get their own Social Security. And they got the little fishing poles. I never saw anybody catch a fish, but they stayed there all day, and they had a little fire, and they cooked food, and they were all buddies. So I got to know Pappy, and Pappy, he was 85. And I remember he used to make biscuits and gravy in the morning when he got up. And he would tell me, you know, he's from the farm, you know, I get up in the morning and I make them biscuits and gravy, and he would go like that, So I never had biscuits and gravy, and then I came out to Acton and I go to Crazy Autos, they have biscuits and gravy. It's the absolute best biscuits and gravy around. If you ever get a chance, Crazy Autos. I've tested Vegas biscuits and gravy, LA biscuits and gravy, all kinds of, but the Crazy Autos place, they got the best. But I know what Pappy meant when So anyway, Pappy's telling me, you know, down on the farm, if you get a dog, you take his paw and you squeeze his paw really, really hard, and he goes limp like an alligator. I never heard that. What did I know? I was just starting this. So at any rate, about 6 months later, a hot day like today, and I saw one of my dogs asleep, a cockapoo. He was asleep under a tree. So I had a 30-foot lead, and I crept up on him like a crazy horse Indian I used to pretend when I was a kid. I crept up on him, and there he was, and my heart's pounding as he's asleep, and I got to put the lead on him, and I'm right over him, and then I drop the lead and pull it, and he takes off. Now, for half an hour at least in the hot sun, I'm fighting a marlin. He's going up, and I'm having to loosen it up and give him a slack not to choke him. Eventually, I got him in, and I got him next to my car, and it was next to the back wheel of the car. And I had the door open, but he wouldn't move. He was frozen at the thing. He just froze. And over my right shoulder, Pappy. I turn around, Pappy's standing there. I look over, Pappy's standing there. Got a red ball cap on. And I'm looking at my dog. I got to figure out how to get him in the car. And Pappy says, remember what I told you now. You grab his paw and squeeze. So I grabbed his paw and I squeezed, and he sunk all 4 teeth right here into me. Top and bottom canines, and blood's coming out. And I look up at Pappy. He takes his cap off and scratched his head. He says, maybe it weren't the paw. Our first dog bite. What's the matter? What's the matter? My second dog bite was on purpose. This guy reminded me of it. There were 2 dogs off the side of the freeway at rush hour, and I came down the ramp to get on the major freeway, and there's 2 dogs. So being me, I blocked the ramp. I turned the car sideways, rush hour, and I turned the car sideways. I'm going to try to get these dogs. And I remember a cop, he was third in line, and he's showing me his badge, yelling at me to get the car moved. And I said, I got to save these dogs. I guess I was on the traffic report. So I go over, and I get they're both huddled over, they're about his size. They're all huddled under a bush, you know, like that. And I put a lead on one, and I pulled her, and she came. I put her in the car. Then I go back for the second one, and he won't. Then he starts growling. And I'm holding up traffic, literally. I got to get this dog. So I reach out, and I go to grab him. I don't know, maybe I was trying to put a lead on him, I don't remember. But I go to grab him, and go ahead, do it. Sink your teeth, sink your teeth. He sinks his teeth into me like this, and then I got teeth coming here and teeth coming here. And then I drag him, I said, I got you now, and I drag him to the car because he couldn't let go because his teeth were in me. So I drag him about 30 feet to the car, and I got him. And then I also had, that thing that the saints get, So I remember we went to somebody's house who was a donor, and I told her I just got these dogs, and she had a horse farm, and she says, we got to put some betadine on that. So we washed out my hand. But those are the only 2 times I ever got bit. I mean, you get nipped a little, when you're playing with the puppies and stuff, but But you can tell by their faces. You know, you can tell this dog, you're not going to reach out and try to do something stupid. People do that. I had a situation just this past week. A friend of mine in Florida had a visitor, and she claims she knows about dogs, and he just rescued this pit bull from an SPCA. The pit bull had been in there for 8 or 9 months. So the poor guy, the first day, my friend is spoiling him, and he had him on a leash and stuff, and this woman comes in and she says, "Oh, what a nice dog." And she takes some food that she had and she gave it to him, and he took it. He loved it. She gets the second one and she goes to give it to him, and he lunged for it and he punctured her. This woman, oh my God, a pit bull attack. A pit bull attack? And this woman called an ambulance to go to the hospital for that. An ambulance. Are you kidding me? You rinse it off. Anyway, go to urgent care. They'll do something. So he made a big scene of it, and I got in an argument with her over this pit bull attack bullshit. Back when they went to ban pit bulls in Los Angeles decades ago, for months and months we had public meetings and a lot of yelling and screaming. They were going to kill all the pit bulls in LA County. The witnesses said a pit bull attacked me. They showed pictures. It might have been a Chihuahua. The point being, pit bulls do not bite. Statistically, we had the statistics. The director of animal control back then was a good friend of mine. He showed me the statistics. The pit bulls have the same number of bites percentage-wise as any other dog. Pit bulls do not bite more than this one or this one or this one. They don't. And I always say the only difference is they're a 44 Magnum. They got a big giant mouth, you know. So pit bull attacks, everybody was claiming pit bull attacks. They have to ban the pit bulls. And being liberal, woke Los Angeles, they're going to do whatever these people say because they want to get the votes so that they could get the payoffs later. So meanwhile, the pit bulls got saved. An unlikely event happened, and the pit bulls went away forever. Nobody ever brought up pit bulls anymore. All the headlines now were freeway shooter. We had a guy shooting people from the freeway, or on the freeway, or from the freeway, whatever. Freeway shooter for months was in the headlines, and nobody ever thought about pit bulls again. They were just, the press was focusing on the freeway shooter. So everything is media. Everything is pit bull attacks. It's a dog bite. You went to give the dog a treat and he lunged at you because he was so happy to take it, and he nailed you. That's not an attack. I don't know what got me on that, but that was just fresh in my mind. Look at this boy. Look at this sweet boy. You're a sweet boy. Yeah, and you're a sweet girl. Gina's a sweet girl. Yes, she is. Yes, look at her. Look at her. What a sweet girl. What a sweet girl. Gina, you're a sweet girl. Yes. She looks like a small Rottweiler. Look at that. Look at that girl. Look, he's pushed her out of the way. I want her. I'm going to reenact the freeway dog bite. Is that what you want to do? You want to do? You're a good boy. Okay. Yes, you are. Look at him. Look at him. Gina, he's going to get a lot bigger. So are you. She's only about a year old. She's going to get bigger too. Okay, I'm going to give you one more treat. One more treat. Because, in case my videos are a little too long, people look at the length of it and they decide whether they're going to start watching it. Oh, I don't have that much time, so they skip it. So maybe if I trim it down a little bit, leave them wanting more. They want to see more of you. They want to see more. Come here, come here. Sorry. I want to fix your ear. I want to fix your ear. There you go. I fixed your ear. You're a pretty girl. You're a pretty girl. Yes, you are. Look at her. Look at her. She's a pretty baby. She's a pretty baby. And he's a miracle boy. You know, you see them when they're next to death, and they could go either way, and you're imagining all that potential, all that promise is going to go out the window. You know, boy, would I love to see this guy grow up and have a whole long life. And guess what? That one came true. All right, let me drink some water. Okay, I gave this whole section treats. Everybody's get treats. Gina, Major. He likes Zorro. Zorro likes. Look at these. He's licking Zorro. Okay. Styles. She's telling me this is her territory. What am I doing here? What are you doing in my yard? She says.